Watch this video and then we'll talk about it.
A lot of you are not going to like this, but too bad. It's time to start seeing the bad in people. It's time to start seeing the bad in people. You definitely heard that correctly. Because where has the good gotten you? Like, truthfully, like always seeing the good in someone, where has it got you? It's got you fucked up, fucked over, and overlooked. That is not the vibe for this year. Immediately, no, thank you.
Now, this creator wasn't specifically talking about relationships. She was just talking about people in general, but I'm going to use her message and intertwine it into the things I talk about on my platform. I get a lot of emails on a daily basis and I give advice to women, and I'll read their emails and they'll tell me some of the most heinous things that their partners are saying and doing to them. Anything from like, he gets on my nerves because he doesn't put his spoons in the dishwasher. I've asked him a million times. To he punched me in the face last week. I mean, like a range of things. And the one thing that most of those emails and phone calls have in common is after they tell me all the horrible shit, they always say, but he's a really good guy though. But he's a really good dad. No, the fuck he's not, Sarah. He called you a bitch and ran over your sister and stole your mom's money. He is not a good guy. And it might not be that end of the spectrum, but he's not listening to you. He's not respecting you. He's not a good guy. One thing that we also have to understand, and one thing I have to keep in the back of my mind when I'm reading these emails and hearing people on these phone calls, is that accepting the truth would mean major changes for a lot of women that they're just not ready to embrace yet. It would mean realizing that the life you've lived and everything that you've believed thus far is a lie. And not everybody is ready for the truth. Sometimes, for a lot of people, ignorance is bliss. And for everyone, it might not mean, oh no, we have to break up or get a divorce, or I have to pack my bags and get the kids and move in secrecy across country. It might just mean having a difficult conversation because you're not used to healthy confrontation. But it's this big myth of the good guy. We're trying to see the good in the midst of all the horrible things. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack of BS, and you find that needle and you're like, well, climbing through all this BS made it worth it. I have this little tiny needle. The quicker, and I'm saying this from experience as someone who has been there, the quicker you're able to take a deep breath and be like, you know what? It's really bad that he hasn't celebrated my birthday for the last 5 years. It's really bad that I don't know where he's at 2:00 in the morning and he gets upset when I ask. It's really bad that he allows his parents to disrespect me. It's really bad that he just lets dishes pile up in the sink and I can't even leave the house to check the mailbox without fear that the kids are going to be swinging around from the chandeliers and the house is going to be in complete disarray. It's really bad. Good guys don't do things like this. Now, like I said, is everybody needing a divorce or a breakup? No. If you can have this conversation, as long as it's not abuse or infidelity, this is not what I'm talking about in this part of the video. But in other, minuscule cases, if you're able to have that conversation and your partner's open to listening and changing, sure, continue on. But in more drastic situations, for a lot of women, admitting that what's going on is really bad is that fear of the unknown. Maybe you haven't been working in years and you don't know how you're going to make ends meet. You don't know how you're going to put a roof over your kid's head if you were to leave. Where are you even going to go? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be single. And that's unfortunately a scary thought for a lot of people. So a lot of people choose to continue on thinking he does this, but because he smiled at me yesterday, he's a really good guy. He heaps on to me all the responsibility of caring for the children. But because he played kickball with our son for 5 minutes yesterday, he's a good dad. I always challenge the women that I talk to sit in being uncomfortable. Let that just stick in your head. Sit in the thing you're avoiding. That feeling of, he's not a good guy. He's not respecting me. He doesn't love me. And it might not be that extreme, but he's choosing not to listen to me. I told him to get this for my birthday, and he got that for my birthday. I didn't want that. Not everything is extreme. But the moment you're able to say, this really is annoying, or this isn't okay, or if it is something major, this is really not a good person. Healing can begin when you start answering the what if questions. Where will I go? What will I do? And start proactively looking for those solutions. Or if it's not that drastic, you know what? We need to have this conversation. What should I say? How should I approach it? But don't think about it too long. You want to add in the productivity step of this whole equation. But just accepting the truth. And it's a bigger issue in women. We have to make everything be okay. And we have to see the good in everybody. And the truth of the matter is, the world is full of shitty people. The world is full of people who take advantage of you. The world is full of people who will run you over. The world is full of people who will sell your soul for a hot Cheeto, if given the opportunity to. Does that mean always going around being negative Nancy and Debbie Downer? No, absolutely not. But it means understanding and accepting the truth. Wow, I told this person this particular thing bothers me, and they keep doing it anyway. Because they don't respect me. Not because they didn't hear me, not because I didn't communicate clearly, they just don't respect me. My husband keeps tossing his socks onto the floor, not because he's just a crazy zany dude, but because he knows I'm going to come behind him and pick them up for him. Whether your husband is just being a dick or he's flat out an abusive cheater, whatever end of the spectrum that you're on, once you accept the truth of the situation, that is when and only when things can change.